boundary scope. The boundary scope is used by an umpire to determine whether a bowl or jack is still within the confines of the rink. The scope is placed over the boundary peg and the metal V-shaped wedge is pushed against the peg to help the stability and alignment to the centre of the peg. The umpire then needs to align the rifle scope with the boundary peg at the opposite end of the green. The umpire should not have his face right up against the scope, but approximately 15 centimetres or 6 inches away from the scope. This is the required distance to see the bowls and or jack correctly. The centre of the crosshairs should show a point where the middle of the base of the boundary peg meets the top of the bank. If the horizontal hair isn't in line with the top bank, adjust the levels by turning the knobs at the base of the scope. It does not matter if the boundary peg in view is not vertical, as we are using the base of the peg in decision making. Once the scope is aligned correctly, the umpire makes a decision whether the bowl or jack is in or out of play, and this should be clearly indicated to the players. If a bowl or jack is in the ditch and needs to be declared either in or out, then the umpire must set the scope up as for a boundary measure and then stand on the rink in front of the scope. The umpire must line up the crosshair at the base with the small peephole. If there are shadows, a white strip can be used to improve visibility. If the jack in question on the boundary is hidden by a bowl, then the umpire should use a set square or similar to indicate the edge of the jack or bowl. Once the umpire has made a decision, it must be clearly indicated with a hand signal and voice to all players.